Hello, everybody. We have Miss Adrienne Brodie from the library today, presenting an Endnote, which is a citation software used in scholarly work, and I can personally vouch for it. It's been amazing. I wouldn't have been able to complete my dissertation without it. A few updates. Dr. Michael Menke has resigned from his position. So from now on, Dr. Degenhardt and myself, Deb, Dr. Roy, will be hosting these meetings. You'll get regular emails as usual, weekly emails and updating on the new meetings. And please follow up with Adrienne on her next talk on literature review, which has been a much sought after topic by the research community here. It's scheduled on November 13th, right? Okay, well, I'll hand this over to Adrienne then. Thank you.
All right, so hi everyone. Thanks for joining me about Endnote. To introduce myself, I'm Adrienne Brodie. I'm the liaison librarian for ASHA's and SOMA, and then I'm also responsible for the library data services that we offer. Before we dive into Endnote, I always just want to point out a few things. So here is our library homepage, and a really helpful area is our research hub. So this just highlights all the different services we offer or information about different aspects of research. So here you'll find a link to our data services guide if you want help with that. We also offer some educational material on copyright or writing for publication. If you need help updating your digital measures profile with your publications, there's some helpful guidance there. And then here are the current 3 research librarians in our different areas of where we help. And then down below are all the ETSU research units throughout our community. So I wanted to show you that. And then the other hub we have is a writing hub. So this offers assistance with citation formatting, but then we also have a section on citation management, which is Endnote. So if you go to the citation management page, you'll see a nice comparison chart of your different options. Zotero, Mendeley, and Endnote Basic are free, and then Endnote Desktop is free for faculty and staff. All you need to do is put in a request ticket to IT to get it installed on your desktop, and I believe they're handing out version 8 right now. Oh, and then the other thing on the citation management is there's a lot of helpful tutorials. So if you pick the Endnote desktop, there's lots of tutorials here to teach you how to use it. They have a great YouTube channel. They're like 5-minute clips showing you different features or a good overview. There's also Mac specific ones. They offer a lot of training, but of course you can always come to us at the library for Endnote questions as well. So now let's dive into Endnote. And if you have any questions throughout, feel free to interrupt me. Sure.
So you said we can subscribe. So actually, I've had Endnote for, I don't know, as long as it's been around. So I have the X8.
Yeah. You may have been upgraded. Yeah, X9 is available, but IT is handing out X version 8. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you go to them, they're going to downgrade you to version 8 because that's what they're dealing with. It takes them a little bit to get to the newest software version. Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to learn about how to get articles into Endnote, how to organize those articles, and then some additional Endnote features that you may like. The first time you ever open Endnote on your desktop, you need to create a library. So it's under File New. You create a name for it. And I recommend you creating your EndNote library on a network drive, just so if you lose it, if your desktop crashes, you won't lose your library. All right. So there's multiple ways of getting articles into EndNote. You can export them from different databases. You can search within the EndNote software, or you can add just PDFs to add them to your collection. But I want to show you, if you're using the library website and you're using our Still One search, if you were doing a literature search or looking for information here, how you would get those results into EndNote. So first you run your search. And then as you scroll through, make sure you do page options and detail to pull up the abstract. Ebooks usually default to at the top, but if we scroll down to articles, or just get to articles, then once you review the abstract and you're finding articles that you like, you just use these little blue folders here to the right of the title, and you just click away until you get everything. You can do a different search, maybe look for other articles, but when you're totally done searching and you find all the references that you want, you'll notice that there's a new box that says folder has items on the very right column. So you go to your folder view, you select those articles you just saved, and then you export these. You want to leave the default to direct export to RIS format, and then you save this file. So EndNote reads a couple different files. Most databases are going to export in RIS file format. Pubmed has a different one that's specific to Pubmed, and there are other special cases, but we'll just cover the RIS and Pubmed. So you export this file, you save it. You got to make sure you know where you saved it, because then you're going to go over to your EndNote program and you're going to do a file import and find that file. Now, an important thing to note, once you find the file, below that there's an import drop down where there's different filters, or you have to specify what you're importing. So right now it's on PDF, but if you click down, you want to make sure you pick that RIS file format that we just created. Another thing to note is that these are the defaults. Let's see, Pubmed is not a default, but if you want more options, you go to other filters, and here you can see there's a huge list of filters or ways to import file types into EndNote. You can just do a quick search for the Pubmed one though, and then it'll be added to your drop-down list. So when you go to add Pubmed results, you'll have that option. It's important to note this because if you don't pick the correct import option, then it's not going to do it. So if you're asking yourself, why isn't it adding my articles, it may be that you didn't pick the right import filter. So RIS one, and we import. So as you can see, it's quite simple. Instead of dealing with all the citation information for those 3 articles, everything's there for you. I just want to show you some things about the software now. So on the left here, you can see every reference that's in here under all references. The newest things you import, so these 3 I just brought in, are always going to be under this imported references. And then recently added are things, if you do it within a certain time period, Then there's also unfilled. So unfilled means unfiled, sorry. Unfiled means you didn't organize them into groups. And there's 3 ways to organize an EndNote. There's group sets, there's groups, and then there's also smart groups. There's one more little option. So group sets are these little headings here in bold. You don't have to do that high of a level, but if you wanted to split it out more of like teaching articles or research specific, and then drop down to group levels for specific projects or papers, you can organize it that way. It really just depends on how you want to organize it. If you want it all more together, you can do that as well. So these are on diabetes. If I wanted to create a new group, it's simple. You just right click, create group, and then name it whatever will help you find it. And you just click and then shift highlight to get all of them, and it's just simple drag and drop. So now these are all within our group of diabetes that I created. So smart groups allow you to search through your articles based on specific keywords or features that you're looking for. So if you wanted to create a smart group for it to auto look for things within your group set, you have lots of different fields you can search through. Just the drop down, you can do author, title, labels, certain keywords. You know, there's all sorts of things you can pick. You can do custom fields. If we just did year, we can see anything from 2011. And there wasn't any, but if there were, they would just automatically get moved in there. So it's kind of like searching through all your references and then having them auto go over into this. And then anytime you get new ones that you import and you file them, that smart group will, you know, grab those same articles and pull them in for you. Just let me review my notes for a second. Does anyone have any questions about the organization or still on search so far? Yeah. No, that just for those on Zoom, the question is when I imported the articles, did the PDFs come with it? No, that's a different feature, which we'll get to later. It's just the citation information. I don't see any chat. Sure. For those on Zoom, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and then as soon as I see them, I'll get to them. Yep. Okay. So that's how, if you use the library website, if you want to export from Pubmed, it's similar, but there's just a different couple clicks. So I just want to help you navigate this. Once you go to Pubmed, same thing of doing your search. And it's the same thing of checking the articles you like. If you want to pull up the abstract, it's under format and then abstract. And this is really helpful while you're doing search, literature searching, because you don't have to click on the title, read the abstract, see if you like it or not, and like go back and forth. It's all in one spot for you. So you just pick what articles that you like that match your criteria. Another thing to note about Pubmed is that if you leave the default of 20 results per page, if you go through page 1, check the articles you want, and then go to page 2, everything you checked on page 1 is now unchecked. So I recommend you do it one page at a time, so that way you don't have to go back and redo what you just did. But once you do pick your articles, you just do send to. You can do clipboard. Here you can do a different search on a different topic, grab more articles. But then when you're totally done, you go to your clipboard, same thing like the folders and still one search. And then you send these to a citation manager. And then same thing of going to your Endnote program, importing the file. That looks good. And then making sure you pick the right import filter, which is the Pubmed one, and importing those. That's an old file I use, so it won't show up what I just did, but it's really easy. And then the last one is Google Scholar. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can do that, and I'll show you how to do that. Since we're so the question was about searching PubMed within Endnote, and then just dragging them over instead of using the PubMed interface. So I personally use the PubMed interface because I know it really well. They have more options, and I find the Endnote interface difficult to use while searching through PubMed. But if you wanted to search a different database or a database within your Endnote program, you click on this little world to get to it. They have a few default here. If you click on more, you can see a few more options. These are all the different databases you can search through for results. So if we click on PubMed, now we can search the PubMed database and have our results displayed below. So I also don't prefer the other one because I don't like this search interface, but it's all personal preference. If we did keyword search, see, let's just do text terms. Keyword. Let's just do all fields. Then you have to pick how many results you want. So let's just do 20. So here are the top 20 results. You also can't choose the order, so you can't pick based on relevancy or newest publication date either, which I don't like. Then you also can't pull up the abstract unless you pull it over here and then you read it in this side pane. But yes, you can search within Endnote. And if you do want articles, all you have to do is highlight and shift, and then you can drag those over. I think it's right click. And then you can add those to your library. Let's add references to, and then you can add it to a group you've already created. You can create a group right here, and you can have them organized right away. So now those few articles I just grabbed are in my Endnote library. And you go to the little folder to go back to your Endnote library. And there they are. Okay. The last information source I wanted to show you was Google Scholar. So same thing, you do your search. For this one, you use the little stars. You also have to make sure you have a profile on here. But you use the little stars. I don't want to do it because I'm on Deb's and I don't want to add articles to hers. But it's the same thing. You use the little stars. Then you go to your library. You select the articles to export, and then you go to Endnote and you import the file. So that's how you get articles, and then it also covers how to organize them. There's a couple other features I wanted to show you within Endnote. One of them was already brought up about do I get the PDFs or the full text right away? And you don't. There is a find full text option that you can use. It doesn't work that great with pulling in all the library's collection. We're working on fixing it. It works better if you're on campus than off campus, but it's also going to be searching open access articles or things it finds online for free. But it's not 100% with the library collection, which is a shame because we have a lot of articles. To set it up, you have to go to your preferences first, which is under Edit Preferences. And then under the Find Full Text, you want to make sure you check all of these, that it's going to be searching through these sources. And then there's also the specific authentication URL you need for the library collection and the specific URL for Open URL path. If you want this links to add into your EndNote, if you can send me an email, I can email it to you just because it's a long string. I don't want you to have to write it down. Or I can get the list from Deb of who's here today and email everyone out so you can add it. But once you add this in, when you do the full text, there's a find full text down here, and then you run it. I'm not going to do it now because it takes a while, but then it'll attach the PDF so you can see it within Endnote. And let's see, a few other options you may want is deduping your results. So if you want to make sure you don't have any duplicates, that's very simple. It's under the reference menu, and then it's find duplicates. Right there. If it does find duplicates, you compare the two records. You pick which one you like, and then the other one's removed for you. If you want to use Endnote on the go, you need to make sure you create an Endnote online account, and then you can sync your Endnote desktop to Endnote online, so you can access everything online if you're not at your desktop, or if you're on another device. You create it under Preferences, and it's under your sync options. You have to enable sync. The first time it'll ask you to put in your Endnote credentials. If you don't already have that, then there's a quick sign up option right here. But then once you have that account, you put it in here, and then you can sync between Endnote Desktop and Endnote Online. You also have the ability to share libraries with colleagues if you're all doing a research paper together. So that's under here as well. Just a second, I forget where this is. Oh, here it is. It's this little person with a plus sign, share library. You have to make sure they have Endnote as well. And all you do is put in their email address, and then you can give them the option that they can only read or give them editing privileges as well. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is there's a Cite While You Write plugin. So this is a Word plugin that allows you to search your EndNote library within Word to auto import in-text citation and build a reference list for you all at once. So let me bring up Word. The little plugin is going to be at the ribbon at the top. Down here. So you kind of need to know what article you're thinking about. You can search through it with, you know, keyword, author, title, etc. But once you find it, you just select it and you insert. So now this in-text citation is there for you. Your reference list is built, you know, alphabetical order. And then you can also change the style pretty easily. The style drop down right here. It's default to APA, but there's these defaults here. And then you can also select a different style. Like a lot of journals have specific citation formatting that they want you to use. So you can pick a specific journal, like Annals of Internal Medicine, or just like Chicago, things like that. And then, so if you pick a different one, it redoes it for you right away, which is pretty nice. You still should know to double check. It's important to know how to do it, but it just saves you some hassle for doing this. Okay, and let's see, there is a Zoom question. Where is it? I don't see anything. Hi. The question is if when you get EndNote, do you automatically get this Cite While You Write plugin? When you get the desktop version, yes, it auto adds that plugin to your Word. But if you only do online, the EndNote Online Basic, then you have to go onto that site and then download the plugin. But the desktop version automatically adds the plugin to your Word for you. Just a few other little pieces of information. The maximum number of group sets you can have in your library is 5,000. So you can't have more than 5,000 group sets. But those are those higher level groupings here, the one in bold. You can also create custom fields to use within the citation. So if you click on the article, your citation information is off to the right here. If you use the field research notes here, you can add in any little tags or notes to yourself. And then you just click over here and it saves it. But then when you go searching through your references, you can search with that custom stuff you put in to help you find stuff easier too. I guess I didn't save it. But that's another thing you can do. What else can you do? There's a lot of features to this. I really just covered like the basics of getting stuff in, organizing it. Oh, the other thing I want to show you is your view you might want to change. So that's also under preferences, under display fields. So right now it looks like there's 9 columns, but you can pick from any of these, so you can change the order if you want to have it, you know, author first, year, whatever you want. You can reorder these. You can get rid of some columns, so there's only a few if you want to change that up at all. And if you just upload a PDF, like you didn't export search results from a database, then the PDF metadata is going to automatically be uploaded in there for you as well. So if you have a bunch of PDFs saved and you want to get that information in your Endnote library, you can just add those as well. If you ever publish to the Journal of Dental Education, they accept online submissions from Endnote. That's under the author dashboard. And I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Does anyone have any additional questions? It's pretty straightforward once you get used to it. Once again, the desktop version is free for faculty and staff. You just have to put in an IT ticket. If you have any questions, you can always contact the library. We're happy to help. I answer a lot of Endnote questions. If you do only use Endnote Basic, there's a limit of 10,000 records total. So 10,000 articles you can put in. But if desktop, it's unlimited. Let's see if there's any questions on Zoom before we stop. Oh, another thing, I don't often do this, but I do a lot of literature searching for faculty. So if you ever requested a literature search, you can also request that those results get exported into an RIS file format, so you can just add them to Endnote. That's another option. All right, if there aren't any questions, I'd like to thank you guys for coming. Once again, we're always here to help, so don't hesitate to contact us.